How about now? Do we have sound now? We have sound now.
Can you hear us now?
Can you hear us now? Well, Al, all that intro, all that beautiful, funny intro, and it didn't even go over. Anyway, backing it up. Okay.
Great minds.
Anyway, Shanda's sitting in for Amber until Amber can come live, and everything's just been kind of a fun day in hell here, as usual, at the studio of Oz, the land of Oz. Good morning, everybody. Barbara, Melissa, Bill, Al, and sorry, Al, it did come with a hitch, and so we're God.
I think they can hear us now.
I think they can. Double Shanda, yeah. She's actually Amber. It's Amber and Shanda. You notice how Amber has the bigger head in the middle. That's the one.
One of them's bigger than the other one.
One of them's bigger than the other one. But, let's chalk it up to this shitty engineer, the guy named Oz. He just can't seem to get his act together. Good morning, everybody. Hey, Philip. Pat, I didn't call you the other day, Pat, because a meteorite hit my property, and I'm still digging the kryptonite out of my ass. So
that's the best excuse I've ever heard.
Hey, that's all I can go for, So not that I'm anything like Superman. I'm more like Lex Luthor's evil cousin. So what do we got here? What's going on? I am not high. I am not drunk. Everything's just made me cray. So anyway, let's hear from our founder this morning. Let's hear what John's got to say about the police.
Yes.
Yeah, here, John, Uphill John on Twitter. Uphill John. It's so helpful that bad cops are just walking off the job. Makes it easier to identify them and get rid of them. Cops are employees, nothing more. Shitty employees get fired. I got nothing for you. You are a national disgrace, and we are done with your shit. Oh, John, tell us how you really feel. What do you think about this one, Shanda Amber?
I can't believe he held back so much on that one.
Yeah, John has a tendency to do that. I got to say, it's sad that we, and this is not unique because there are comments like this across the country. I mean, what's some of the harshest things you've said about cops or heard about cops, not said?
The harshest things?
Yeah.
Are you kidding that they're fucking killing people? But, like yesterday, we saw the McDonald's cop that was whining because she's so paranoid she can't even get an English muffin. And, I'm sorry, if you can't fucking handle that, you don't need a gun, and you definitely need some counseling. These bad cops, bye Felicia, is all I got to say.
Yeah, I mean, they're bitching about, a 5-minute wait for their Egg McMuffin. It's like, wow, that's really bad. And then I saw that video where it cut to one cop putting 3 bullets in Rayshard's back. I mean, really? This is the problem. I know this is just what is this? It's sauce for the goose, or it's just whatever. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Now, we woke up to some terrific economic news this morning. I'm sure everybody in the group did too. This is from The Hill, and what are they talking about? You watched it. I'm not going to play the whole thing. Like I said, too much news Thursday is what today is.
Is this the the miles and miles of people waiting to get unemployment help?
Yeah,
is that what this one is?
Yeah, I think this is. Crystal and Sagar react to devastating, all in capitals, economic numbers and shocking.
But the economy is recovering quickly and nicely. Haven't you heard?
Yeah, well, Donald Trump and Mnuchin say they're not going to shut down the economy again because that's just counterproductive to building our great society. Let's take a look at all these people who are just trying to get help with their unemployment claims. Is that what this is? They're just trying to get help, and they stood in line for 8 hours or something. Anyway, here we go.
There, this is from great friend of the show, Jeffrey Stein, tremendous reporter. It's down nationally by 13%, but it's up in Indiana, it's up in West Virginia, it's up in Kentucky, but down massively in places like DC, Rhode Island, and California. So it's always important to note that there's tremendous regional variation, but we saw yesterday, this was on Twitter yesterday that I saw this, horrifying visualization of just exactly what this looks like, the number of unemployment claims. This is from Kentucky. So these are people lined up
Oh my
to
God.
try to talk to a human being because they're having some trouble getting those unemployment benefits. I mean, this goes miles and miles. And these are the lucky people who got in line before they cut the line off and said, sorry, try again. I mean, this just gives you a sense of how far we are into the process. And Kentucky, from that tweet that we put up from Jeffree Stein, isn't even one of the states that has been hit economically the hardest, or with the coronavirus the hardest. They have.
I'm going to stop it there, and I'm going to kickstart it again. Now, that was not for the premiere of Star Wars 77. That was for just to get goddamn help with their unemployment claim. Is that how I interpreted that?
Yeah, and how many did they kick out of there? Or how many, when they cut that line off, how many didn't even get to wait in line? You know, you can't tell your landlord, sorry, I tried, I waited in line, and they told me to go home. That's not going to pay your fucking rent.
Yeah, I mean, even that number, I mean, they flashed through that thing. That was what, 30 times real time? It was just like through there like fanning a deck of cards. Even the first 15 seconds, I can't even conceive of them getting through in an 8-hour period. Oh. I mean, and that went on, and it was even longer than it was. So again, I'm telling you guys, the housing market's going to crater here in August. We've already seen the police start striking, and we'll talk about that a little bit. What else? The climate. I don't even know how to.
Oh, you see the dust storm that's coming from the Saharas that's supposed to hit the East Coast? And
yeah.
This thing on satellite is just crazy.
I looked at that and I said, Shanda sent that to me, so it's serious. I mean, it really is. You know, it's not some fake news story. There's really a damn dust cloud coming over the ocean, and it's going to bop us. When is that going to bop us?
This week sometime. They're saying in the next few days it should be hitting the East Coast.
The East Coast, yeah. So, well, we get so much rain in the Pacific Northwest, it'll probably wash it all down, and we'll have mudslides all over the place. So, right. I mean, the only time I saw a dust storm of any magnitude was in Arizona. It was like a wall it was like from that movie, The Mummy, when the mummy's face came out of this dust storm and ate the guy in the airplane or whatever. That's what they look like in Arizona. I can only think something this huge going across the ocean, you know? I mean, wow. Right. I mean, this is apocalyptic times. This is like, what was it from Ghostbusters? Real wrath of God shit. And it's really, really, really happening. Sorry, pop culture again. Anyway, let me.
That was a great line.
Let's Dan Aykroyd. Let's finish this economic numbers thing.
A governor who's done a fairly good job, Andy Beshear, in locking down and keeping people safe. And even in a place like Kentucky, you see this just massive line of Americans who are trying to get unemployment benefits. And I really think that's a big part of why we still see these numbers basically flatlined and coming in ahead of expectations, because you have people who have been laid off, who have been trying and failing to get the benefits because the systems are so unbelievably overwhelmed. I mean, they were never designed for this many millions of people, and yet our government policy was basically to force people onto unemployment rather than try to keep them in their jobs.
Yeah, and this is the key point, which is that the cops were cutting people off after the 8-hour mark, because they're like, oh no, because they time it. They're like, oh, if you're within the 8-hour window, then you might be able to go meet somebody. But how many people, hundreds of people, were turned away because they weren't able to make the 8-hour cutoff, have to come back tomorrow, have to come back the day after that? That's what really makes me question the veracity even of these numbers.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, the veracity of the numbers is it's too many. That's the veracity of the numbers.
That's just one state. That's just one
Kentucky
state.
Yeah. Now, Shanda, do you think those were all McConnell voters that were in line there, or what?
Oh yeah, you know it.
Yeah, I just, and I'm serious. A lot of these people probably do vote for Mitch on a regular basis. I hope I hope while they're in that line, they think about what's happening to them, what's happening to their livelihood, future prospects of employment, and take it out on Mitch, because he's one of the architects of who's fucking this thing up. And I give the Democrats no quarter, because what the Democrats should be doing right now, you all know in the chat, they should be screaming bloody murder about this stuff. Instead, they're turning the other way, and they're kneeling down with kente cloth and doing the optics, the bullcrap optical thing, And that has no substance. That has no meaning. That does not keep a roof over your head and food on your table. So again, it's very important, to respect the situation. But when they're taking it and making it a clown car show, like they really give a shit about Black lives and lives that matter and our economy and everything else, no, it's just to do the bidding of their corporate overlord masters and their donor class. That's it. I've got to take a position on this stuff, and if anybody watching in the chat wants to offer input, just tag Shanda or myself, and we'll throw it up here. Again, too much news Thursday, so I'm gonna bug out of this one. Let's take a look. Let's check. Crystal said something here about the defund movement. Now, I'm sure that we're in agreement there. Defund movement has gotten massive results in a short period of time. Rather than tone policing them, we should be learning from their strategy. And that's in response to Ryan Grimm's Philly budget deal defunds police by $33 million and invests in affordable housing instead. I think that's probably kind of a good thing, don't you? It's like the roof over your head sort of thing. So, a lot of our friends, many of them at Uphill Media and other shows, didn't like the defund the police phrasing, the rhetoric, that sort of
language,
thing. The language. Well, I understand where they're coming from, and I agree with them in spirit, but I submitted to them, and see if you agree, Shanda, that this was an extreme phrasing to wake them the hell up, okay? Granted, I wish they had been able to put it into a tagline like defund the police and put those funds into the people. Just something that would be, at least taken in and looked at more objectively, instead of the way some of the neoliberals, we can't have defunding the police.
Yeah, we got transformation.
So what's your feeling on that? I mean, really, truly.
Well, at first I was doing the whole white woman thing, like, we can't say defund. Oh my God, that means who will come in when your house gets robbed? But then I started to actually listen and pay attention to what they're talking about. And, we have known that look, teachers have been defunded, schools have been defunded, everything social program wise has been defunded, but the police over the last 20 years. All we have done is build these forces up. I mean, come on, if they got money to buy freaking armored vehicles and all the toys that they have, they're not using it on training. We know that. So I support defunding. Nobody's saying abolish. So yeah, defunding works for me, and you can call it whatever you want, transforming. Okay. Ultimately, it's defunding.
I think that some of the anarchists out there, and maybe some people who really think they should abolish the police, but when I do hear them say something on the order of abolish the police, because I agree with you, I don't hear people saying that on a regular basis. Right. But I think what they're saying is abolish the police system as it is today. There is no way in good goddamn hell that we should have a militarized police department. I mean, that gives the ruling class the ability to do what they're doing right now, is to eliminate our ability of free speech and to get out and protest. They're doing that. We saw that yesterday in a lot of the videos that I showed was, I don't care if you're press, and they just maced them and swatted them and beat them and everything else. These people are trained to do that from their origins as military personnel, military police, whatever, not to their own social populace. Their sisters and brothers across this country that actually fund them. Who's going to fund them to beat the shit out of them if they have a problem with the way they're doing their job? I ask you that. Tell us, Shanda, what do you think?
Absolutely.
Yep. That's where we're at. I mean, really. And do we see it going any better? Is it going to go any better?
No, things are not going to get better. I mean, we're going to look back in a few months and be like, fuck, we had it good. back in June, you know?
Yeah, and that's bad because I look back to the 60s and 70s and wish for the good old days. It was great back then compared to now. Yeah. What did we have going on back then? We had Kent State. We had the Vietnam War. We had all kinds of, and then we roll into the 80s with the me generation and the Reaganomics and the trickle down peeing on everybody. So those good old days, Jesus Christ. What's going on now? This is nuts. And I'm not a historical scholar by any means, but I do remember that because I had that shoved in my face when I was a kid, you know, the assassination of Kennedys. You know, not just one. I mean, and I think who did Johnny Tsunami over at Comcast did a good deal about Robert Kennedy. There's a Netflix movie that I recommend everybody watch with Robert Kennedy about Robert Kennedy, the life and death of Robert Kennedy. So please watch that. Meanwhile, let's jump back over and see Queen. What did she call that? What did AOC call her? The sugar mama or sugar bear or whatever the hell?
I don't know, but she sure falls in line with her.
Yeah. So let's just Speaker Nancy Pelosi orders Confederate flags portrait in Capitol removed. Now, why today in 2020 is she finally getting around to this? Well, because people have had it.
Supreme Court decision upholding President Obama's wonderful action to support our dreamers. The DACA decision is something that supports our values as a country. The dreamers across the country enjoy more popularity than almost anyone. Overwhelmingly, it's something like 75–80% of the American people, 3/4 of the people who vote support the dreamers. 3/4, a large number of Republicans, independents, over 60% of people who support President Trump support the dreamers. So this is really, we were just in such dread about what could possibly happen at the court up until last night, just if it goes this way, if it goes that way.
Okay, I agree. The DACA thing, supporting the.
I agree with the DACA thing, but can I just say, Mama Bear always sounds like she's either a half a bottle of Chardonnay, or she needs to buy some Fixodent. You'd think with the money she has, it always sounds like her teeth are floating when she's talking.
Yeah, she's rattling around those dentures, and again, I'm next to death's door as far as the dental thing goes. I got really good teeth, but you know, are you kidding? Dental insurance. We were talking about that yesterday, and I know a lot of you can relate to that. You know, dental insurance is a scam. What do they pay? 50 to 55%, and then you eat shit on the rest of it. So, you know, I've got some molars that are gone, and I'm going to be gumming it. I haven't figured out if I'm going to dig up George Washington and pull his teeth out of his head or not. Yeah,
you know that wasn't real.
Yeah, I heard it was made out of, like, what was it? Saskatchewan sealskin bindings with with broken glass or pearl or, you know, whale tusk or whatever the hell, dog teeth, you know, shark's teeth, whatever.
So
but
did he really chop down a cherry tree too, where all these things we were taught as kids just bullshit?
I don't know if I think that was George Washington Carver that chopped down the cherry tree. I don't know what the fuck's going on. Like I said, I'm shit on history, and I will yield to Jimmy.
Well, it doesn't matter because history is shit. Everything that we've been taught pretty much, you know, since we were young is either BS propaganda. You know, they say history is wrote by the victors. To the victors get the spoils and be able to write how they got those spoils. So once again, everything's surreal. Now, Shanda, that reminds me, you said something yesterday or the day before about, what was it, about alternate reality or what the Plee effect or something, or what was that? It's called the Mandela effect, and yeah, basically, you know, the Hadron Collider supposedly has ripped a hole in the space-time continuum, and we've veered off on a completely new timeline.
Jesus Christ, Star Trek me some more. I mean, God, man, I have another.
It's pretty interesting if you want to go down that rabbit hole.
Well, you know, honestly,
I believe any of this shit, but you know, I have this need to know what people are saying and what they're thinking, so I just consume it all. And it doesn't mean that I have an opinion on it. It just means that I know about it.
The reason I brought this up is that everything is so fucking surreal. What you're saying that's the only explanation that makes any sense to me. We are diverging down this alternate shit reality road of fuck you. And I just, oh my God, anyway, everybody doesn't want to listen to me about this. Where? I think what we should do is we should get the Wipey Award out of the way.
Finally.
Oh my God, it's Amber. It's Amber. You're just in time for the Wipey Award.
But you're muted, Amber.
Yeah, unmute yourself, Amber. Let's see what we got here. Amber,
Like,
I'm unmute.
We got picture but no sound.
We're
working on getting Amber in here.
Yeah, keep trying, Amber, because Oz is long-winded as usual. You look great, though. You really do. It's great. When did you get the crew cut? Anyway, try and I see some action there. Is that the mute's off, so your microphone? Yeah. Anyway, let's get to the Wipey Award. Why Amber
wanted to bring you some pretty stunning comments.
Oh, that's the next one. That's Fauci. Anyway, Loki Fauci. That's
he might as well be a Loki.
Yeah. He's going to be Loki. But anyway, there was some stunning news there. Anyway, hi everybody. Hi Jilly. Hi Al again. George Washington Carver actually chopped down a peanut tree. I stand corrected. Is it any relation to Jimmy Carter, or I just?
Are they peanut trees? I thought they were plants.
Yeah, well, peanut. I don't know. I'm just as dumb as they come. Anyway, Jesse Fairs. I haven't seen you in a while. My fucking meter is so full. It's toppling over. Yeah, we get super chats from fuck you land for that. Here we go. This is Rose McGowan, and we are going to dedicate which award? The Wipey Award to Rose McGowan today. For her view of Joe Biden. Is that it? Is that what we're doing with
and the neolibs in general?
And the neolibs in general. It's just a really dark screen here. I can't get the Wipey Award up. I can't get it up, Captain. I can't get it up. Well, let's just show this clip and go from there. I mean, Jesus. Tell me if you can hear it, everybody. Let's get Rose in here.
But you don't think journalists have made an educated, evidence-based decision that Donald Trump, the evidence shows he is a sexual predator and that Joe Biden isn't in the same league? Is that what they've basically decided?
Well, I think it's convenience at that point, isn't it? And who's to say levels of predation? What's worse, if you destroy one person's life versus 100? What's a life worth to you? And to me, it's like, seriously, you can't get anybody better than an old ventriloquist dummy with Botox named Joe Biden. Come on now.
Well, obviously, Joe Biden denies any of the accusations befalling him.
But even with Joe Biden, how he fights for the black vote or to get the black vote, but doesn't seem to do much in return. He touts his, skills with working across the aisles, Republicans and Democrats working together. Well, I would say and submit, gentlemen, that if you've gotten this far, and this is what we're seeing on the streets today, that this is what the men in power have brought us to, and the women that support that cult-like structure, I would say sit down, that you can do better, that you need to do better. And if you can't, you need to move aside, because the time is now. We need revolution. We're having a revolution.
Wipey Award goes to Rose McGowan. What part of that should she really get the Wipey Award emphasized with?
Well, definitely the revolution part.
Don't you know?
Oh my God! Yeah. I hear a songbird out there. I hear a songbird. Who is it? Let's see if we can get her in here. Oh my gosh! Let's give her a camera. Where are you, Amber? Where are you?
Here, I'm here.
Keep talking. Keep talking.
I will keep talking. Good morning. Sorry, slight technical difficulties.
Oh, there she is.
I only woke up half the house.
There, you woke up half
only
the house.
half the house. Thank you, Franklin.
Oh, thank you, Franklin. We will forgive you. So you can unchain him from the toilet and make sure that he gets food today. Yeah.
Give him the Wi-Fi back. No.
Yeah. Amber, say hi to everybody in the audience, Amber, please.
Good morning, everyone.
Hi.
How are we doing today? What's shaking out there? Great segment without me, by the way. Good job. I'm glad I made it in for this Rose McGowan set, because that's one of my favorite pieces to talk about anyway.
Yeah, I wanna just rerun just part of this segment again so everybody can hear it clearly. It's like just a few seconds. Bear with me, everybody. I want to expand on this. Let's get her back in there. Come on, Rose.
You know, what's a life worth to you? And to me, it's like, seriously, you can't get anybody better than an old ventriloquist dummy with Botox named Joe Biden. Come on now.
Okay. Do you agree with that statement, ladies? Is that really true? Is he an
Yes. It's great.
Yeah, and he hasn't done anything to prove that statement differently, has he? Or has he? No. I keep likening Joe Biden to that Bullock in that first Star Trek season, the original series, where that Clint Howard was in that giant spaceship and he had that ventriloquist dummy there scaring the Enterprise people to death. Oh, God, that's so scary. But yeah, again, Joe Biden, not so much. Amber, what do you want to talk about today? Because there's too much news and views to go around and I can't even keep up with it.
Oh man, I don't know. I took a couple days mental health break this week, so I'm relying on you guys to fill me in because let's see, what have I been hearing? I've been hearing all the amazing reports out of the CHOP. We thought about going down there yesterday, but maybe today is a better day for that. And then trying to get the my local school board to remove officers from campuses. So my daughter and I spent a few hours on a school board meeting. And bottom line is, man, I'm finding everywhere we turn, we are so topsy-turvy on this subject, from school boards to local police to federally to nationally. We are so upside down in this police funding bullshit. The militarization of our society is insane, and we could be doing so much more with that money. We could be using it to so much good. So I implore all of you, this is not something that's happening in Seattle. Look at your own school board budget. I get an email the first month school has started asking for cases of copy paper because they didn't have enough money for paper in the first month of school. And I don't know about you, but I have to spend a few months like putting away money for school clothes and for backpacks and, all the things that my kids need that first month of school. So I was pissed already to get an email asking for copy paper. But then imagine how pissed I was to find out that we are paying paid contracts to police that we already fucking pay for with our taxes.
Right. We're double paying.
Double paying so that they can come and intimidate my children on campus.
We're getting double dipped all the way around, triple dipped in many cases. On those police on campus, are they armed?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Fully armed.
What?
4 or 5. They have lockdowns all the time. They don't inform the parents. And I've complained to this district about this several times. And this is middle school. School. They don't tell them what's going on. They don't tell them why they can't go in the hallway. They just like, nope.
Yep, you're
strong armed, you're cut out. They don't engage. The kids sure as hell don't trust them. It's made this. I mean, honestly, the police have brought this on themselves acting this way because there's a whole generation of kids that do not trust.
Exactly.
Have zero faith. The one time when my daughter needed the police, they showed up. They did nothing. I got more intel in 2 hours from a community Facebook group about a guy who tried to lure her. Wow. They did nothing. Repeated. I said, I know exactly where this person lives. He's got a reputation. This is it. This is the information I found out. Nothing. School took 3 days to call me back. So I was trying to tell the bus drivers, like, hey, look out for these cars. They just do nothing.
So
it's so insane.
So you think that, do you think defund is too harsh of a word to use?
No, not at all. It's also not what people think it is, but it really is what people need it to be.
Yeah.
And that's the difference. We need to defund this system that is spending so much on foreign wars, that's spending so much on local police departments. My county has 75%.
How is that split up?
That's to housing. That's to social programs that help us. I mean, it's just so ass backwards.
So let me get this straight. 75% of the budget goes to one entity, the police, and everything that encompasses the police. And that 25% is split up between housing, social service programs, food banks. What else am I missing? Transportation? Is that
water and sewer infrastructure? Yeah. All the good programs get 25%, and 75% goes to legal and law enforcement.
Okay, think about this. You are funding your own fucking military state right out of your own goddamn taxes. So I tell you, you better get involved, or you better just lay down and take it in the back. I mean, truly, this is absolutely absurd.
And this isn't just something that's happening here. That's what I'm saying. Like, this is happening in, you know,
it's not unique to
This is happening in Santa Fe. This is happening in, you know,
how about Vermont?
Vermont.
Vermont.
This is all over the country.
All over the country.
Until people like you and me with this color of skin get involved and say, call bullshit on it, they're not changing.
No, they're not, because it's the upper white middle class and the wealthiest whites that are controlling all of this shit. Is that correct, or am I full of shit?
Well, and it's this false sense of security that they're really helping us.
Oh, it's a teddy bear. Oh, it's a teddy bear with a badge. That's what it is.
Serving and protecting.
Serving and protecting.
And I'm sure there's great people, but you know what? I had an officer on my campus back in the 90s in South Snohomish County, and 10 years ago he got arrested for a legacy of crimes against children.
Yep.
Crimes against children.
Yes. Yes.
Oh my God.
And he was on our school campus every day.
I didn't even go there. Shanda, did you send me a link last night with that showed two officers slapping the shit out of a patient in a hospital? Was that you?
No, I haven't seen that, but it's not shocking. It is not shocking one bit to me.
Yeah, I mean, they were having fun doing it. So if that's the mentality, and the reason I bring that up, Amber, is because the one officer that was filming this in a hospital, they thought they were being a smartass. He was later arrested for selling drugs and some other things. So nobody's pure, not me, not anybody. Well, I'm kind of pure, but you know, it's just that's because of old age. I can't do the mayhem and the shit that I used to do in the past. But no, I digress. But anyway, Amber, thank you for bringing that to light, and we're going to keep pounding that home because we are screwing ourselves every day. We sit on our ass and not speak out. At least speak out. Not to mention get in the streets once again. Our vote is compared to what, Shanda?
What do you mean compared to?
We have more
no
power
at the ballot box. We have no power at the ballot box. We've proven this over and over and over for years now. We only have power in the streets.
We only have power in the streets. Now, I think Al said something about God, what did you say, Al? I can't find it here.
I like the one where he said they do nothing so very well.
Yeah, they do nothing. You're full of these great ones, Al. We really like.
I love Melissa. Melissa H says, I grew up when you felt safe when you saw a cop. Now most of us feel trepidation.
Yep.
If not our right fear. This is new to most white people, and we seem to be waking up to what Black people always experience.
Hell yeah.
And I have to say that I grew up with people in the streets. We were the kids in the streets, and we were having to stand up for people a lot longer than that. Yeah, so there is a certain generation of us poor white folk.
Right. That's what I was saying. I'm poor. So I have lived, I probably drove more years without a driver's license than I did just because of finances. And if you have, a $3,000 fine that you can't afford to pay, then now you're driving on a suspended. So I know that fear of, oh shit, there's a cop, thank God I'm legal now, but it took me many years to get there. I understand that feeling.
Yeah. I was just telling my wife the other day, I said, I will do my damnedest to never have to be in a situation to call a cop. Because all the others, and that's, why
don't call a cop.
When we have to double think why we should not call a cop, we're in deep shit. I mean, this is where we're at today. I found what Al said, and this has to do with the voting. It's the time is long overdue for a none of the above box on the ballot, so we can have a do-over. I mean, I think that's absolutely right. And I'm at this point, sorry, Democrats, vote out all incumbents. That's what I'm looking at. I'm going to get my ballot, and I am seriously considering blanking the presidential race because those stats seem to be the most prevalent when it comes out, like Green Party, and how many blanks that they keep. They try and keep that down. How many people didn't even vote for the two shitty choices? But down the line ballot all the way to city council, and we have some candidates running for city councils in some jurisdictions. Those are important. But I tell you, I will not even vote for an incumbent. I'm not voting. That's just out of the question. It's like incumbent. Nope. That's where I'm at right now, and I'm thinking a lot of people feel the same way. What do you ladies feel about that?
I want to take this to that next drain the swamp level. It's that all of us need to drain all of it and start over.
Yeah, it's our responsibility.
I don't care what office they're in. I don't care what it is. Nobody should serve more than 2 terms in any one office anyway, is my personal belief. So it's just, I didn't realize it was so bad even at my own local level. And so I'm just really imploring all of you, do the research. Find out how much of your local little town budget or your county budget is being spent on this shit. Do you need, military weapons in your little town? Because I bet they have them.
Yeah, they get a bonus when they buy military weapons. Not only do they get the weapons, but they get alternate funding for other things that go into that department. So it's like a package deal. It's an omnibus gift from the Congress. Thus is why any of these incumbents, especially, in our Senate and our House races, who have been enabling Trump with the overbloated military budget, when they say they're fighting against it, have given him more spying powers, have done all this shit, and they come out, oh, we got to fight Trump. We're the resistance. Bullshit. They've given everything that he's wanted and more on a silver platter. So what good are your incumbents? And we know about the Republicans. Jesus Christ, and even some of them are a little less Republican than you might think. But the damn Democrats, the neoliberals that have got a stranglehold on everything, I mean, it's making me crazy. Incumbents out. And I just want to touch on, I'm going to get some shit here, I think. Who the hell is Bernie Sanders endorsing the likes of who they're endorsing right now? Who is
AOC?
Yeah, and AOC. What the hell's going on? Somebody said in Twitter the other day, they sure got the Bernie Sanders and Joe Biden thing down with BS, because of the Biden-Sanders thing. It's BS. It's bullshit what they're doing. It's like the Bernie side of it's just giving it over to the neoliberals to do what they wish as far as endorsements and backing people. And Amy McGrath, that's one big example right there. I mean, are you kidding me? Amy McGrath, and what's the gentleman's name that's running against her? It's not
Booker.
Is it Charles Booker? I mean, there is. It's just incredible
that right there tells me everything I need to know. Put it that way. This week we are done. Yep. We are done in this, what we considered ourselves as a movement of playing along.
Yep.
Yeah, we can't.
No more playing along, because we know that if we do vote for these neolibs, they're not going to support policy that will help us, will change anything, that will actually impact the working poor. And,
And I just, back to our previous topic, I just want to put a shout out there for everybody. Go check out your local resources on who has been purchasing military weapons from the 1033 programs. And then find out how many have gone magically missing. And that might really freak your eyes out.
What, like pallets of money? Is that the same thing?
Pallets of guns.
Pallets of high weapon guns.
So
I know Eastern Washington's had a really hard time with that in some really tiny counties.
That's scary.
Well, where the hell do you think they disappeared to? I have some suspicions now that you bring it up.
They're just magically missing out of the stockhold.
Thank you.
So they have to file a report, and there's been some great reporting over the past few years. I've followed it a bit, but seeing the types of armored tank-like vehicles that my local city, not my current city, but my larger area city has purchased. I'm like,
Yeah. Did
hell
you see
is
the
that
video from New Orleans from 2 days ago where they've got I-10 blocked by 3 military tank vehicles and armored vehicles, and it's the police telling protesters, "We support your right to the First Amendment." Yeah, glad you brought your tanks to support their First Amendment rights.
Yeah,
as long as I get to sit on this side in this vehicle, and then I get to go help, make sure that we need to keep up this military might and buy new vehicles for the army because they can only use them for a short period of time before they have to us. It's just
then they have
no
to
other
get
way
new ones.
around it.
Didn't the last Lord and Chief do similar actions in North Dakota? It's the same thing.
Obama?
It has not changed one bit.
It's not changed one bit, and he was doing it at the behest of the fossil fuel industry, right?
Yes, which the Supreme Court is still at behest of this week, as they allowed a pipeline through Appalachia.
Oh my God in heaven! And the Appalachian. Can we talk about that tomorrow, Amber? Can you bring that in?
Yes, I'm setting us up for tomorrow.
Please do set us
Maybe
up.
we could have Friday be like Supreme Court rundown.
Well, that would be lovely. I'd like to have a free for all Friday that's formatted with actually, some news and views we can use. And
let's talk about the fluoride lawsuit that's going through with the crooked EPA.
Oh Jesus!
Bullshit.
You guys made me crazy with that yesterday.
Dicamba. The farmers can't spend. They cannot. What did they say? They're trying to get injunctions to stop the ruling that they have to stop using dicamba, but they're so worried about it because nothing else works.
Oh my God!
People died in the South over these chemicals, and it's getting so bad.
So what are you saying? I can't use my mouthwash anymore because it has fluoride in it?
It's part of that military-industrial complex is what we're trying to tell you.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Okay. All right. Let's finish this up with this Black Caucus endorsement of who?
What's on your radar?
Well, some pretty significant primary battles are shaping up for next week in the states of Kentucky and New York. We've previewed a few of those races here already. In particular, progressives are really excited about their chances with Charles Booker in the Kentucky Senate Democratic primary and Justice Democrat Jamal Bowman, who's challenging incumbent Eliot Engel in a New York congressional district. So here are the basic dynamics of those two races. In Kentucky, Charles is up against Chuck Schumer and the DSCC's hand-picked candidate, Amy McGrath. McGrath gained some national prominence in her losing congressional bid last year based on a biographical ad about her time as a fighter pilot. She's made massive missteps in her Senate primary bid thus far, including a complete faceplant on an obvious question about whether or not she would have voted to confirm Brett Kavanaugh, and the bizarre consultant-driven strategy of painting herself as more pro-Trump than Mitch McConnell. She's performed exceptionally well, however, in the only area that Dem establishment really seems to care about, that would be money. She's raised millions from wealthy resistance Dems from all over the country, and at last FEC report had more than $19 million in the bank.
Okay, here we go again, and I'm going to cut this forward a little bit, but Jamal Bowman and Charles Booker. I mean, this is a no-brainer. We have to take these kinds of seats, just like we have to take out Nancy Pelosi. Again, Shahid Buttar. If we can take Nancy Pelosi out, which I don't know, with the rigging and everything else, we and get these two gentlemen in, and there's others. Jason Call up here in Washington State against that scumbag Rick Larson, and I digress. Rebecca Parsons, Derek Kilmer is talking about cutting Social Security and privatizing it. Then he gets his dick caught in the door with his mouth because he signed that pledge the other day. Now he's waffling backwards. This guy is one sick dude, okay? He is a con man just like Larson and the rest of them in Washington State. Again.
But he brings in money.
Yeah.
You know, one of the other funny parts I see too in this is that we have an amazing candidate like Chris Armitage running against Kathy McMorris fucking Rogers,
the Republican,
in Eastern Washington.
Right.
And Bernie doesn't come out and endorse him first.
Right. What the
Trump's funding machine for the West Coast.
Yeah. Get a clue.
Come on, people.
And some of our mutual friends are wondering why we're upset with Bernie. Are you fucking kidding me, guys? Come on. Let's get off that and start getting back on the issues that Bernie started us out on. Come on.
In the first damn place.
Yeah, not 2 steps forward, 10 steps back. Let's get on it. And this Speak a little bit about this convention, if you can. Can you speak a little bit about it? The Washington State Democratic Convention, just a hair here, Amber?
Yeah. So we had all these like love letter pre-recorded bits that they got to stream into their Zoom meeting.
Fuck.
And in contested races, and did not feature one of our progressive candidates.
Oh, hell no.
Not one. So
Not one.
So
Not
they featured,
one.
yeah, they featured the known cash cows, the known money makers, the Kilmers, and who else was the known one there? Was it Del
Gail
Bent?
Tarleton. I mean, they just had people that nobody knows yet. I mean, but they if they feel like they're going to be lock and step and bring in the money, they care not about anything else.
So Jason Call wasn't in there. Definitely Chris Armitage. That was a no-brainer. He's running against a Republican, and they didn't feature him.
Nope.
So
He's very well spoken, and
Yeah.
he's very, engaging. He's doing great fundraising. Yeah.
yeah, and he kind of fits their profile. Doesn't he come from the
Yeah.
military and law enforcement? I mean, wouldn't he be perfect? Except the guy's a progressive. He's one of the few that come from that pedigree who are actually progressive, and we hope he stays that way if he were to be elected. Sometimes it's a crapshoot, but again, so the Washington State Democratic Party convention was just another show. It was another shit show that just pushed an agenda and kept everybody busy for a whole day, voting on what resolutions?
Minority reports
Minority reports
for
and
our
resolutions.
platform, which I am proud to say as one of the people on the platform committee that there is a lot of Bernie in that platform, and I plan on making them eat that every single time I can.
Yeah, and that's the thing with those who have the stomach to stay inside the party, PDPR, those folks over there, and yourself included, working with the party. And I'm oh my gosh. Hello.
Amber, thank you so much for all of your work, and to everybody who is attending these conventions. Washington State, I know how much of a shit show it was. We were cut off at the knees by technology and the Zoom bullshit before we even got there, but thank you so much for staying in that battle and staying in that fight. I know it's important, even though I've tagged out for the time being.
Yeah, you're a better person.
I
than
get
me.
it. I'm trying hard to win the good fight, but I know I won't win.
Well,
But it's been amazing. I spoke on one very contentious issue, very, very contentious issue, and was kneecapped in the delivery of that on purpose, I'm fairly certain. But I got a lot of support from a lot of people after that thanked me. And I think it changed the way that vote went to begin with. I did not win the minority report or the majority to not include it, but I opened a lot of people's eyes, and I think that's just what it's going to take. And at the end of the day, toxic is toxic, and corruption is corruption.
Yep.
And you can't blindly follow one piece like it's going to not touch the other.
Well, yeah, and you're waking up hundreds, if not thousands, of people every time you speak because they listen to you speak. And you're articulate, you're to the point, you know what you're talking about. Then they listen to the bullshit artists, the con jobs on the other side. So, you got to stick it.
It's more like pulling back the veil, because the shittier part is we've all wanted to believe that we actually had some morals and we had some values in this country.
Yeah.
And then it's finding out that it's all corrupt is really a hard pill to swallow.
Yeah.
But something, as contentious as, say, vaccines are a very hard pill to swallow when you find out the corruption.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, and that's the thing too. Is the corruption is tantamount to what's destroying our society. You have the wealthy, the corporate oligarch running everything. People are tired of it. You saw those unemployment lines that they were just trying to get help in Kentucky earlier in the show, and I got to say that is not unique to Kentucky. It can't be, because they're reminiscent of the food bank lines in California. These lines are going to continue. Amber, do you think the housing market, like Shanda and I, is ready to crater possibly next month? Is that?
Oh yeah, definitely.
I've noticed, and I spoke about it before you got your tech worked out. I looked at Bellingham's prices of houses, and they're like double from 5 years ago as far as what they've got them up for sale to right now. There's no way any of the younger generation, unless they get some God job from some corporate master that's going to give them enough money. The generations behind me, and yours included, you guys are behind me. I'm the old guy on the block. They have no hope of owning a home in this race, in our society. That standard of living, that middle class that was built between the 50s and the 70s, is all but gone. Don't you agree?
And they know
Oh,
it.
yeah.
They know it too. You know, I have children in their 20s. I have 3 that are in their 20s, and all 3 of them know that they're just going to work their asses off for low wage, even though they are educated and they hold what used to be good jobs, considered good jobs. But nowadays they are just a click above minimum wage. And they know that. They know that, you know, they're trying to build credit, but they just know. They know that they're never going to live the American dream.
Yeah. And then I'm that, you know, Gen X that's had my credit screwed from birth,
me too.
pretty much, and working since I was 9, and still not able.
Medical bills.
You know, yeah, I was able to get into a house, but then I had to sell it, and here I am now. I'll be a renter for life. There's no way in hell I'm getting a 30-year mortgage in my 50s.
Well, what your answer is a commune in Bolivia? Is that what you were talking about yesterday? Is that's
Bolivia's got some problems right
yeah,
now.
well, yeah, no matter, but honest to God, extended living was the thing back in the 20s during the Depression. I mean, you had multi-generations living in one house because they had no fucking choice. And I just don't know how well that's going to play, because we're being forced into that right now. I was forced into that I gladly accepted in a extended living situation with my mom and dad, because my mom became so ill back at the end of the 90s. And that happened 15 years. We were in that situation because I had to quit my career and take care of my mother, who was paralyzed, in bed for 8 years. I don't regret that at all. What I regret is the system failed us in so many different ways that we were scraping by. And had we not had the social safety net, the Social Security, that Derek Kelmer, Democrat, in what district, Shanda?
CD6.
The
CD6
Washington State is trying to privatize and screw the younger generation. Derek Kilmer, do not vote for that guy. He is against everything. He's a Democrat, neoliberal scumbag. If you vote for them, like Amber was saying the other day, we're going to have to take a side on this. We can't be wishy-washy anymore. We can't be kumbaya. We have to take a side. Derek Kilmer, out. Rick Larson, out. The rest of the neoliberals in this state, out. None of these incumbents are working, not even Adam Smith, because he's in a swing district. So again, I got to take every chance out there. So we've got a super chat from Al Walski. And Al, you are one of our wonderful, wonderful supporters of independent media. You know this goes to good causes, not to Oz's big mouth, but what we're trying to do. So $10 from Al Walski. Keep all independent healthy with your contribution. All independent anything. Many hands do make work for light work. I agree, absolutely. Right. The more hands on board, and we're finding this out with our independent media right now, is that the more hands that come on board, we've got Shanda, we've got Rhonda coming on board. Shanda has taken my personal workload and cut it almost in half. So I'm not going to go insane this month. It'll be probably the end of next month. But thank you if we can get some more on like that. So thank you, Al, and thank you, everybody. Jilly, our supporters here. It's just great to have you here. And Pat, let's connect up. I want to get through this Fauci thing because, like I said, there was way too much news today, and it's going to be the same tomorrow. You watch, if not more. Friday's kind of like a big day for the news dump, and a lot of it gets passed by. But let's talk about this Fauci thing. Do you know about this, Amber?
I'm learning this morning of it, but I'm actually not surprised because I've been following this on a lot of different levels for a long time. And I've known that the CDC was not following WHO guidelines. And with the little impending implosions between the US and the WHO, part of that was I rightly believe in pulling out our WHO funding and support, because now they're left stuck with Bill Gates as their second largest funder. Yep. So this is major money plays happening. This is a game. This is their little tit for tat war. So it's going to be fun to see how it plays out. And I'm I'm just here eating the popcorn.
Yeah,
And
and
with the collateral damage,
yeah.
unfortunately.
Yeah, let me reiterate. Fauci is not our friend, okay?
No.
He just speaks some truths here that I'm sure he's going to get in some major hot water with people, but here you go. You got listen to this, guys. You're going to love this.
Wanted to bring you some pretty stunning comments from Dr. Anthony Fauci, who basically just admitted why and how the government lied to us about the efficacy of wearing masks. Let's take a listen as he explains the real reason they told us not to do that.
What about a month or so, or 2 or 3 ago, when people were saying, you don't really need to wear a mask? Well, the reason for that is that we were concerned, the public health community, and many people were saying this, were concerned that it was at a time when personal protective equipment, including the N95 masks and the surgical masks, were in very short supply. And we wanted to make sure that the people, namely the healthcare workers, who were brave enough to put themselves in harm's way to take care of people who were infected with the coronavirus and the danger of them getting infected, we did not want them to be without the equipment that they needed.
It is
Just admits
hard.
it a lot on live television.
Yeah,
It's insane.
Hard
Yeah.
to overstate how outrageous it is that he's just like, because he says, oh, people were saying, no. The Surgeon General and the U.S. government were saying, don't wear a mask, not because we need these critical supplies for our frontline healthcare workers, which would have been that. Like, yes,
Fine. People
tell
would
us
have
that.
listened.
People would
Yeah.
have listened. No, there was a whole elaborate rationales and many articles written about how masks didn't really work. So don't buy masks, don't wear masks. In fact, they may make things worse. But also, oh, by the way, our healthcare professionals are definitely going to be wearing them, which never made sense. You're like, if they don't work, then why does it matter for them to have them? It never made sense. And then it comes out, he just admits they were blatantly lying to us.
They lied.
This
The
is
government lie to us?
Yeah,
No way.
this is where critical thinking skills triumph just about everything, because all of us here, probably everyone in the chat's going, they don't work, then why do they need them? So bad. It's like, what the hell? I mean, we've got Tyler up here in Washington State using his 3D printer to make these much coveted, much needed masks for, PPE, personal protective equipment for our medical profession. And what I read into that, part of that, you guys probably didn't, because my brain circuitry is wired wrong. We want to keep our health professionals safe from the virus for what? So they can help bury these people that are dying from not having the proper instruction on how to keep themselves proofed or others proofed around them from this shit. Come on, guys. Bring me some sanity here, please.
Well, I grew up, my mom was an ER nurse, a trauma room nurse growing up. And, there's a fucking reason that they always wear masks. And we saw it in the 70s and 80s and all the way back. It's so that they didn't contaminate somebody with their germs as they're working on them. Say they're doing a surgery or so the knowledge was always freaking there. Common sense and reasoning tells you why you need to wear a mask. And look at what they've done. Look at what they've emboldened this whole realm of idiots who think, I don't need these. You don't need these, you just go out. We'll see with this Trump rally how it goes down. Nobody's allowed to wear masks, in that Trump rally that's coming.
Yeah. So, and I just want to point out in all these lovely political situations, how many people are wearing masks? How many people are wearing masks in
I wear mine.
In the field? Part of it is what I see is everybody's using them like the new tree air freshener. They're all hanging from everybody's.
I got one hanging off my car.
Yeah, they're hanging in everybody's car window. The particle size to me is one of the biggest pieces of why I have and you have to look more at how long the government has been pushing for the planning of this pandemic.
Yeah.
And we're finding trade deals and little bits here and there a year ago.
They knew.
A year ago.
A year ago.
And there is a very big consensus that a mask is a symbolic piece of propaganda. Will the country comply. And I think they're seeing right now that we're not. Obviously, going into a crowded room, going in an indoor space is going to be a lot more hazardous than being outdoors. And I'm seeing all of our protesters following protocol and being correctly. There could be nothing better for protesters than to have to wear a frickin' face mask.
Right,
So-
because now the facial recognition can't get you. But I think a part of the problem is the shit that doesn't make sense. Like, you can't camp, but you can go into a crowded blah blah blah. It doesn't make fucking sense. It doesn't make sense.
Or that the public restrooms are all closed, so you're only going to be able to use the gas station bathroom because that's
Yeah.
the only one open in a town.
Oh, that's all right. Ladies,
None
come
of
on.
it makes sense. None of it makes sense.
Yeah.
So and the big thing too with these masks is they're only good for about 4 hours.
Yeah.
The minute you sterilize them or pretend retreat them, their efficacy goes down by about 50%. Obviously, if anybody is using bleach to sanitize anything, throw it the fuck out. It does nothing. Use hydrogen peroxide. Hydrogen peroxide is a far superior cleaner, disinfectant, sterilizer for everything.
But is that even good to do? I mean, if we sterilize everything around us, then we're getting rid of the natural immunities that we need to build up in our bodies, because that's how our immune systems work.
Correct. So you have to you have to build up your own flora and fauna. Go dig in the dirt. Go take care of your soil in your house.
Get
in your
lots of good
surrounding
sleep, eat well, rest well.
Yeah.
Well,
and that's the thing. Like, these hospitals are reusing the N95 masks still.
Oh shit! You're kidding me.
Oh no.
No,
They're still reusing them. Some of them are using robots with a ultraviolet light. I think has been the most popular, but it's not the most effective. So I'm just concerned because there's a lot of false senses of security about the mask.
Yeah,
and I really want to make sure that that's well understood. Only plasma vapor hydrogen peroxide causes these masks not to break down. But again, are you sanitizing and sterilizing that after surgery? Or is that after a week? Or is that after a full shift at the hospital of wearing it?
Yeah.
Let alone that regular people are using, nylon socks and bandanas. And, that's great if you're coughing. But other than that, inhaling a deep breath becomes difficult. So it does cause a lot of discomfort and anxiety for a large portion of the population, whether it's, the right thing to do or the wrong thing. I just, it's not playing well for me how they're framing all of this, and I get it. I'm somebody with an autoimmune condition. I don't want, people changing, their ways, but it's so silly to me. And I look at my daughters having to go back to school and
wear a mask.
If they're even going to have in-person classes.
No.
And they're sending out, will there be mandated hand washing, and I'm like,
shit.
I already don't want my kids to use that goddamn soap in school or the hand sanitizer because it's gross.
If I had kids in school right now, particularly, junior high and grade schools, I wouldn't be sending them. I'd be homeschooling. There's just no fucking way. So Amber, all this information you gave us, what's the bottom line as far as the mask?
Mask or no mask.
Use hydrogen peroxide, vapor.
Use hydrogen peroxide to wipe down your door handles and clean your bathroom.
Right.
The normal shit people should be focusing on anyway. If you're going into an indoor space, a mask is probably appropriate, but don't pretend it's going to protect you from anything.
Right.
So you're saying bleach kills everything, right? So, but bleach doesn't kill everything. Is that what you're saying? What doesn't?
Bleach kills very little. Do not clean with bleach.
So bleach is more
Stop
like
buying bleach.
an acid-based, and it's just a cover thing where the hydrogen peroxide does actually kill the bacteria, because I see this.
Yes. And quaternary sanitizers are just as bad. They do not. They are a huge cause in the problem of why people are continuing to get sick, why there's MRSA outbreaks in medical settings. It's why is H. pylori thriving? And part of that is this imbalance. We've got the micron nanoparticle aligned backpacks and lunch bags and school kid shoes and, everything. And then they're making everything seem like it's so much safer, but it's really, really dangerous for the gut microbes and your bacteria as in general. So we need to clean things that are dirty with hydrogen peroxide, and you can use a high level hydrogen peroxide for disinfecting, for, put a half a cup in your laundry if somebody's sick, that kind of thing. But do not think that by wiping everything down with Clorox, you are doing anything. Bleach is great for bleaching, but if you have mold, it's spreading. It's really, really bad.
So
I'm not a huge fan of alcohol either, unless it's super high and you're using it either to make medicine or you're using it. But hand sanitizers, for the most part, unless they are homemade and using a ton of essential oils, are not going to do you much good either.
Okay, so you're going to get pushed back here. Well, you're not a doctor, Amber. You don't know. However, your experience in the field of this with other professionals and doctors have precluded that this is the message that you would like to offer as a suggestion to everybody.
Yeah, I mean, the hydrogen peroxide information out there is everywhere. You can look that up as far as efficacy, as far as the CDC, it's the number one. Yep. You can go through all that. I'm just, as a home use person, looking at what people are doing, what habits they are creating, the things that are causing more anxiety and stress and worrying about is concerning to me. And I've had those concerns since I was working in the food industry, because we used quaternary sanitizer on everything.
Right. Yeah.
And then I worked in healthcare and I saw the same thing. They're using quaternary sanitizer instead of hydrogen peroxide, which is safer for the skin, safer for the environment, less toxic, better at cleaning.
What's quaternary sanitizer? Quaternary, that's a term. What is
it's I don't know, for something. It's QUAT. That is the, it's more of like an acid-based sanitizer.
Yeah, so I get it.
That's what's in your commercial dishwasher at every restaurant.
Right.
That's what is used to mop the floors in every bathroom. That's what, Ecolab is out selling.
Okay.
Right.
All right. So
I will continue to wear a mask just because I do it out of fucking guilt, because I feel like if I walk into, say, the Walmart or the Safeway and I don't have one on, then I'm being looked at like, oh, you bad, evil person. How dare you expose all of us? So even though I'm not fearful that I'm going to catch something standing 6 feet away from somebody, I put the fucking mask on just to make other people feel.
Well, I don't think Amber's advocating not wearing a mask. You're not doing that.
No, I'm just saying that's why I put a mask on. It's not because I think I'm protecting myself. It's because I'm protecting myself from judgment from other people.
Yeah, that's
and again, that's going back to this, social
propagandized,
social, and here the other thing with the mask, it sends a message to me. Why I'm concerned. I'm aware of a situation that's causing health issues, so I am taking whatever measures that have been suggested to me, and I'm seriously doing it. I'm not making fun of people wearing masks and gloves, which I see this a lot from certain communities because of the misinformation out there. Yeah. Where there's a serious threat out there. How many people have died in the United States from COVID now? It's double what the Vietnam War we lost in the Vietnam War. Is that correct?
117,000 now or something like
and
that.
Admittedly, some of these were from an addition to COVID to their pre-existing condition and age, but still, you're just not going to write off 120,000 people dead from this COVID thing, because if the COVID never happened, you probably wouldn't have 120,000 people dead, because nothing would have changed. It would have been the same rates. So again, thanks for this conversation. I know it's going to keep going on, but I want to close this out because we're really running over. We are rehabilitating war criminals at an unbelievable rate, and MSNBS, the Rachel Maddows and stuff. John Bolton's your friend now because he's going after Trump to make money? What the hell's going on? I'm going to run this clip, and I'll run it a little bit. You guys, I want to hear your in on this before we head out today.
All right, Sagar, what's on your radar?
Well, former National Security Advisor John Bolton's book excerpts came out yesterday, and the political world stopped. Trump asked China to help him win re-election, he says. Trump personally intervened on Turkish dictator Recep Tayyip Erdogan's behalf, he says. And the Democrats are fools, he says, for just restricting their impeachment inquiry into Trump's interactions with Ukraine because there was more there. Is any of it true? Who knows? Taking John Bolton at face value isn't exactly something that has worked out so well for the world since somewhere around October 2003. But furthermore, if this is all these explosive allegations are true, then why exactly did Bolton exhaust every legal maneuver he had in refusing to testify before the House and Senate during the impeachment inquiry last year? The answer is either that he was afraid to do so under oath, or he didn't actually care at all about substantively wounding Trump, and he just wanted to make sure he saved all the most salacious parts of his knowledge for book sales. So the good news is that it worked. The White House has sued Bolton's publisher, alleging it has classified information. It has rocketed up on Amazon's pre-order charts, justifying the $2 million that he was paid. Bolton got every single major media outlet to run his book excerpts. His book has Chris Hayes and Rachel Maddow aflutter. Resistance liberals are cheering him on for finally speaking out against the big bad orange man and buying his book to express solidarity with him.
All right, come on, you guys. This is we're living in opposite land. John Bolton, Mr. Take out the 13th floor of the UN. Isn't what the we got to bomb them over there before they come over here? What the hell? What's your view on this, Amber?
I don't think he gives a shit.
He doesn't.
I thought that for a long time.
No, this is he's going to make money and lots of it, and he's going to, just like they've been rehabilitating war criminal George Bush. They're looking to rehabilitate John Bolton. Why? Because he's against Trump. TDS has taken over the mainstream media, plus it's fitting their Russiagate propaganda narrative. So, again, I wanted to expand on that more. And everybody, I'm so sorry we've run so long, and it's not Amber's fault. It's just there's so much out there, and we didn't even get to cover half of it, did we, Shanda?
Nope. No.
Not half of it. Is there anything you'd like to shout out before we close out for today that we did miss that we should have covered? The DACA, the LGBTQ ruling for the Supreme Court.
That's tomorrow, baby.
That's
Friday.
Tomorrow, yeah.
Friday.
A lot of that tomorrow.
Yeah, we're going to call it Freak Out Friday because I'm freaking out today. It's like, what the hell?
Well, and this is just the start of the day. We have a lot of great shows lined up today. You know, we have Savage Joy and the Unruly Hour today, and of course, the Accidental Activists tonight. So,
yeah, we got a back-to-back. I mean, Amber.
Let out.
Yeah, Amber's getting ready to get a net and put over Crazy Oz because we've got those back-to-back. But no, Savage Joy, she's got Michael Brooks coming on of the Michael Brooks Show from New York. And Shanda has our lovely, fierce fighter for Medicare for All, Georgia Davenport, whole Washington tonight. I'm so looking forward to that because if every state had courageous people like Georgia Davenport and the whole Washington team, we would be much closer to national universal health care. So again, we've got lots of things coming up. And what's the outgo song tonight or today?
It's morning.
My life. And I'll do what I want.
Oh, it's
animals.
Animals. I'm not an animal. Yeah, this is It's My Life. Mrs. Jones, Revenge the Animal. These guys, this is my earworm this morning. So here we go. Thanks, everybody. Have a great day.
Have a great day.
Good night.